In the winter of 1930, a new dream took flight on the distant shores of Montevideo, Uruguay. The world was still reeling from the Great Depression, and the idea of a global football tournament seemed audacious. Yet, Jules Rimet, the visionary FIFA president, pressed on. 13 nations, many enduring arduous sea voyages, converged in South America. The hosts, Uruguay, fueled by the fervent hope of their nation, navigated the early challenges. On July 30, 1930, in the newly built Estadio Centenario, they faced their neighbors, Argentina, in a final that would forever be etched in history. The stakes were immense, the atmosphere electric. 2 decades later, in 1950, football's emotional power reached a new zenith. Brazil, still scarred by World War II, hosted the tournament, and their nation united behind a team seemingly destined for glory. The Maracanã, a colossal stadium built for the occasion, was ready to crown its kings. In the final, not truly a final but a decisive group stage match, Brazil needed only a draw against Uruguay. Over 200,000 spectators packed the stadium, their anticipation a tangible force. But then, Alcides Guja, an Uruguayan winger, found the net, silencing the immense crowd in a moment of collective national heartbreak known as the Maracanazo. In 1958, a shy, 17-year-old prodigy named Edson Arantes do Nascimento, known to the world as Pelé, arrived in Sweden. Initially hampered by injury and considered too young, his raw talent could not be denied. Once unleashed, he transformed Brazil's campaign. His hat-trick in the semi-final against France and 2 stunning goals in the final against host Sweden, including an iconic lob over a defender before volleying home, announced the arrival of a global superstar. Brazil, the nation that had suffered the Maracanazo, finally clinched its first World Cup title, marking the beginning of an unprecedented era of dominance and jogo bonito. Mexico, 1970. Under the searing sun, Brazil's national team delivered what many still consider the greatest footballing display in World Cup history. With Pelé at his majestic peak, flanked by artists like Jairzinho, Rivellino, and Carlos Alberto, they played with an intoxicating blend of skill, flair, and collective brilliance. Each goal seemed a brushstroke in a masterpiece. The final against Italy culminated in a breathtaking 4th goal, a sweeping team move finished by Carlos Alberto, encapsulating the beautiful game in its purest form. Brazil lifted the Jules Rimet Trophy permanently, cementing their legendary status. In 1986, the World Cup stage belonged to one man, Diego Maradona. His quarter-final against England was a clash of titans, and Maradona, feeling the weight of the Falklands War, delivered 2 moments that defined his controversial genius. The first, the infamous hand of God, a blatant handball that went undetected, fueled outrage. Minutes later, however, he embarked on a dazzling solo run from his own half, dribbling past 5 English defenders to score what is universally acclaimed as the goal of the century. It was a moment of raw audacity followed by unparalleled artistry, pushing Argentina toward their 2nd World Cup title. The summer of 1994 in the USA saw Italy's elegant forward, Roberto Baggio, emerge as a reluctant hero. The divine ponytail carried his nation through knockout games, scoring crucial goals that propelled Italy to the final against Brazil. The match was a tense, goalless affair, culminating in the World Cup's first-ever final decided by a penalty shootout. With the weight of his country on his shoulders, Baggio stepped up for Italy's final penalty, needing to score to keep their hopes alive. The ball sailed over the bar, a moment of profound personal tragedy that became an iconic image of sporting agony, sealing Brazil's victory. After years battling career-threatening knee injuries, doubts loomed over the legendary Brazilian striker Ronaldo. But the 2002 World Cup in South Korea and Japan became his stage for an incredible redemption story. Wearing a distinctive haircut, O Fenomeno rediscovered his blistering pace and clinical finishing. He spearheaded Brazil's charge, scoring in nearly every match, culminating in a dominant performance in the final against Germany, where he scored both goals to secure Brazil's record 5th World Cup title. It was a testament to resilience, a triumphant return for one of football's most exhilarating talents. The 2006 World Cup in Germany was billed as Zinedine Zidane's final act, and the French maestro delivered a masterclass throughout the tournament. He guided France to the final against Italy, where he majestically opened the scoring with a chipped penalty. Yet, in extra time, a moment of shocking frustration brought his glorious career to a sudden, dramatic end. Provoked by Italy's Marco Materazzi, Zidane retaliated with a headbutt to the chest, earning a red card and walking past the World Cup trophy he would never lift again. It was an unforgettable, and tragic, farewell for one of football's greatest artists. Brazil, 2014, presented a tournament of vibrant South American flair, but it was Germany's methodical, ruthless efficiency that ultimately triumphed. Their journey culminated in one of the most astonishing results in World Cup history, a 7-1 demolition of host nation Brazil in the semifinals, a moment of national trauma for the Seleção. This clinical performance set the tone for the final against Argentina. In extra time, substitute Mario Götze scored a sublime chest-hand volley, securing Germany's fourth World Cup title and becoming the first European team to win on South American soil. It was a testament to meticulous planning and a golden generation of talent. The stage was set in Qatar, 2022, for a final chapter in the career of Lionel Messi, arguably the greatest player of all time. For years, the World Cup trophy had eluded him, a glaring omission in an otherwise perfect career. Argentina battled through a spectacular narrative. It was a moment of destiny, the culmination of a lifelong dream, cementing his place in football immortality.